Ishabon Guru in the house, back with another Arsenal news episode where, ladies and gentlemen, the new Arsenal right back is confirmed. Yes, there will be a new right back possibilities developing, and it's much more stronger rumors than ever that you have ever come across as an Arsenal fan. So I will be discussing that, and also we're going to talk about um, the chances of Arsenal selling Hector Bellerin, buying Tariq Lamptey. Are they even interested in Tariq Lamptey anymore? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about something special in the upcoming game in the Europa League, and of course, the chance of Arsenal actually bottling the Europa League. Is there a chance? We'll see about it. Also, we're going to talk about one Arsenal midfielder would want to undergo a surgery at the end of the season. Who is it? We will talk about it. So let's just jump into the first news that we actually got here for you guys. It's none other than Tariq Lamptey. It looks like Arsenal have been scouting. According to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal have been scouting Tariq Lamptey, but there is nothing going on. They will go for a different right back as there's a huge chance of Bellerin departing the club this summer. So Fabrizio also tweeted out that there are huge chances for Hector Bellerin to leave Arsenal in the summer. Leonardo wanted him at Paris Saint-Germain 1 year ago, but there was no agreement between the two clubs. Now it would be an open race. AFC won't make any discounts. So no discounts whatsoever. Arsenal are really in the mix to sell Hector Bellerin, and it's a strong possibility that this season might be the last season of Hector Bellerin at Arsenal. Quite a long time that he's been at Arsenal, very long time. Probably, if I remember, it's 6 years, I guess, at Arsenal. That's what I remember. It could be wrong. I could be wrong here. But yes, Arsenal finally are looking at somewhere else, and it's not Hector Bellerin's. It's not, in fact, Hector Bellerin's interest anymore. Well, moving on. So, Emmanuel Petit has opened up about Arsenal, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he speaks about Arsenal, and he's actually given up his verdict. He says he's actually opened up about to the Daily Star. He says Arsenal players are treated like a football retreat for older players. He slammed senior players at Arsenal for treating their time at the club like a vacation, while telling Mikel Arteta to sell half of their first team squad this summer. Now, his lashed out at older players at Arsenal right now. Emmanuel Petit is highly not at all convinced with what is happening. So, speaking exclusively to Ladbrokes at its launch of the five-side bet on Crystal Palace versus Chelsea, he says, I still believe they have some quality players available to them. Do I think they have many quality players? No. They have a good group of young players, though they are still learning. I think some of these youngsters can become very good in years from now. But to do that, they need to see an example being set by the senior players. It shouldn't be at a club like Arsenal that the younger players are the only ones showing passion, fight, and aggression. It needs to come from the older players who should lead by example. When I look at the older players in the team, it's like they think it's a retreat football club. Somebody go for vacation. They have ambition, but I really don't expect them to win big games anymore. If you took away the name Arsenal and looked at that group of players, average. At the end of the season, if I'm Arsenal, if I'm Arteta, if I'm on the board, to be honest with you, I think my main concern is getting half of the dressing room out, honestly. The question is simple. How many Arsenal players would you look at and say, they're one of the best in the league in that position? For me, if you look at last 2 or 3 seasons, how many players are exempt of any criticisms? 3 or 4, probably Kieran Tierney and Bernd Leno. I really like Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe. The way Smith-Rowe plays really reminds me of Paul Gascoigne. I like his behavior on and off the pitch. I like the young players, but they need to be surrounded by Lee Dixons and Tony Adams, those personalities. It's a simple science, but if there's one thing I've learned as a footballer, it's that you become a better player when you play with better players. A big question, can Arsenal get those bigger and better players? I don't know, man. I really don't think so. They can, but it would take a significant amount of investment. Also, Jens Lehmann says, obviously I will always fancy Arsenal and watch them. This season, I don't really get what they are doing. It's been disappointing. There's a lot of young players, but for a lot of Arsenal fans, this is not an excuse because they always need to compete for the top 4. Bang on correct. Well, moving on, so Eurosport claimed that Martin Odegaard likes the vision of Mikel Arteta, but it is understood he's not yet wholly convinced that the Arsenal squad is fully behind the plan, so will keep his options open until the end of the season. It looks like we might actually go and raid Real Madrid at the point we are in right at the moment. I don't even understand if that's going to be real or not. But let's kind of believe in it. As we all know that Fabrizio Romano opened up about Odegaard as well. That he said that we will see what happens, as it's a simple loan with no option to buy. But from Arsenal's side, they will try really to keep Martin Odegaard for one more season. They will hold a meeting at the end of the season to talk about Ceballos, Odegaard. At the moment, Real Madrid are saying Odegaard is coming back. So let's see what Zinedine Zidane decides and whether he will be the manager of Real Madrid or not. Well, if you've actually seen the last night's game, you know what's the reality. But let's move on. It's not over until it's over. So moving on. So Swede referee Andreas Ekberg has been appointed as the referee for Arsenal's Europa League quarter-final first leg against. He's been the referee for the quarterfinals first leg against Slavia Prague on Thursday. The only other time that he has officiated an Arsenal game was a 2-2 draw at Standard Liège in December 2019. So I think he's an okay kind of a referee. Yeah. That's the only vibe that I get from him. But yeah, here we go. Moving on. So this is the Arsenal's next season's home kit according to Footy headlines. Well, it looks like Ajax reincarnated, ladies and gentlemen. The big question is, can we actually turn into prime Ajax of the recent seasons? That's the big question, because this looks like an Ajax jersey to me. Okay, it's okay, I guess. I won't even, won't get too amped for about it. So that's the only thing that I actually talk about. Well, moving on, so let's talk about the Arsenal midfielder that will need surgery. As I already mentioned, there is an Arsenal midfielder that might need surgery. And this report is from Chris Phillips. James Olayinka will delay an operation until the end of the season. Yes, until the end of the season. That's the reality. And he will delay an operation on his groin injury in a bid to help Southend United stay up. The midfielder, who is in with Blues on loan from Arsenal, has been hindered by the injury for most of the season. But Shrimpers boss Mark Molesley is hopeful Olayinka will still be able to play a part in his side's remaining 6 matches. He says James is probably going to need some kind of intervention with the injury, but we're hoping to do that at the end of the season. He had a chance of coming to the game on Tuesday, but he wasn't fit enough, unfortunately. He wasn't quite sprinting right, but hopefully we'll get some work onto him on Thursday and Friday and see whether he can be in contention for Saturday's match with Crawley. We'll certainly be doing our best to keep him fit, and then we'll sort out that problem at the end of the season. Well, he's actually missed Southend's last 2 matches with a groin injury, having previously been sidelined for 2 months with a bloody ankle issue. I hope Olayinka comes back super strong from this one. So 2 bigger updates, not huge ones, but really something really different that we actually have for you guys. Well, first of all, let me remind you, tonight we have another Champions League watch along, and we're going to watch Bayern versus Paris Saint-Germain. I'm rooting for Paris Saint-Germain victory. Follow me on my Instagram as well. The link of it is in the description. So here's the news that we have here is about Marco Reus. His goal against Manchester City means that Arsenal still hold the Champions League record for the longest run without conceding a goal. 995 minutes during the 2005-2006 campaign. That's the crazy part. That's the news that we actually are talking about. Arsenal's record remains intact. Well, also talking about different stuff, let us also talk about something really different. And Hertha Berlin have sacked goalkeeping coach Zsolt Petri for anti-gay and anti-immigrant comments made in an interview on Monday. Now, Petri made a number of controversial statements regarding fellow Hungarian and right-back Leipzig goalkeeper Peter Gulacsi's outspoken support for LGBT rights. The 54-year-old also criticized Europe's immigration policy, calling it a manifestation of moral decline. And following those comments, Hertha Berlin sacked their goalkeeping coach, and probably should have shut his mouth when it was needed. Wow. That is how crazy this game gets, man. Well, moving on, so Sergio Aguero is intrigued by Chelsea's opportunity. According to Standard Sport, outgoing City striker could remain in England, and according to Standard Sport, he wants to link up with Chelsea. What? Since when is Chelsea becoming a retirement home for other clubs? It's Arsenal, right? Man City's record goal scorer is set to drop into a free agent pool this summer and may decide to take on another Premier League challenge before heading elsewhere. And Chelsea looks like they could actually be interested in someone like him. Crazy crazy stuff. So with this, we end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you seek daily Arsenal content, best place to be. Consider subscribing. Cheers.